Roll 20 looks green. All right. Hey, good news, by the way. Got the documents for Gen Con. I've been pushing through them, and looks like it's going to be a good session when it happens. Just getting ready for everything. Yeah, it is. It's definitely have to watch a couple more episodes of Veronica Mars to get into the spirit, but just the idea of teen-based noirs, I think you have a lot of precedent for that. Watch game. I was looking at it, and even you probably in a pinch also do some like kind of like sort of like Degrassi or Laguna Beach. Laguna Beach, I think. I'm trying to remember all those like 2000s teen dramas. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, you could probably do that with this. Yeah. Hollywood, it'll chew you up. What? I get L.A., California. California.
So if you're watching, I'm going to fix the camera so you can see how the sausage is made today. Lucid is out sick today. Unfortunately, he tried to make it, but he was unable to rally. So we got Isaac and we have Brandy today. And don't mind the cameras as I just fix our views. Pete was telling us about how he's going to be running a game called We Used to Be Friends at Gen Con.
And it looks really great. It's a nice sort of ash can edition. I think it's oh, couple. I mean, it's not too big, so it's real easy to pick up. Looks like. Not only that, I actually did a little research on ash can. I was like, wonder where that name kind of comes from, and I guess comics, sometimes they would toss old drawings or concept art, and with the idea of being like, this is going into the ash can, and they would throw it in the comics just to kind of show them, oh, hey, here's some extra content maybe we didn't edit or we didn't do, but it's kind of cool to see that in an RPG kind of sense, because you might be looking at something that's going to inspire a bigger game, or something that kind of like, oh man, look what this system can do. And it's just one of the things I like about the system it's based on, Powered by the Apocalypse. It's so versatile. You basically come up with a genre, an idea, you can come up with moves.
I will be laughing because I feel like we filled this with ad space. It's okay. Growling Door Publishing, you're welcome. This was free of charge.
So I'm excited to run that.
We sold them off the shelves we sold everything we brought at the Origins booth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it definitely has a good appeal. And at like $10 for an ash can, and it's like a 40-page read. It's real easy to digest. Oh, we're still doing it.
It's just, I just like the idea of ash cans in general. I mean, it's kind of like, especially with RPGs, like it's such a wonderful time to be playing RPGs right now. Just because there's an indie scene, there's like RPGs for every kind of niche. Niche of interest. I mean, Veronica Mars, I was reading the introduction, like, he's just like, oh man, I love this series, and I watched everything, and all the episodes are really awesome, so I decided to do a game, and that's amazing that you can do that, and ash cans kind of give you that ability. I know Bundle of Holding, the RPG charity, what they do is they bundle up some RPGs. Everybody says, hey, this goes straight to the creators, I believe, and then some of it goes to charity. And they actually had a couple ash cans on it for Powered by the Apocalypse. I think one was like based on a Spanish soap opera.
Yeah. I don't know how to say it right. It is like Passion de la Pasiones.
Yes, yes. And then there was one that was like ER inspired and or Grey's Anatomy is inspired. So um, that's why I mean ash cans are so amazing, and I can't wait to go to Gen Con and see what's kind of brewing on the indie scene and what everybody else is doing, because everybody always brings their A game to conventions like that. It makes it really exciting for players like me.
Okay. Well, that's pretty darn good for on the spot. I think we sold them on We Used to Be Friends. Empowered by the Apocalypse. Let's see, and I'm just gonna move Jessica's tag. Move her little nameplate over. Okay. Pretty fancy. Thank you for bearing with us, folks. If you're here, feel free to chime in the chat, say hi. We have Isaac Oppenheimer, played by Pedro. You know, the better Pete. And we have Brandy, played by Jessica. And our story has been about, I'm going to move this down just a smidge for my OCD, freeing the Lost Rangers. So we've passed our first chapter and character creation, all that stuff. We moved on to infiltrate the enemy stronghold. Now, our first part of this dealt with the juice bar, dealt with the hypnogriff, dealt with the science project, and the rage of Percival. We also learned quite a bit about Brandy. Let's see. Move that off. We learned a little bit about her terrible past, was it?
Apparently, yes.
Oh.
So when we ended last meeting, we ended with Percival being identified as one of the Lost Rangers. He was under some kind of sort of hypnotic spell, if you will, and was enraged at the Black Ranger, who was the Black Ranger and is now the Green Ranger. But it wasn't actually you, Brandy. He just thinks it was you. And you had to knock him out with a beer bottle. The hypnogriff fiddled away out of our imagination and retreated off to the homeworld, the monster homeworld, which we've been told was called Alpheus from the Akashic Records. And last we left, basically, Monitor was ready to see the two of you, the three of you, if we have Alistair. Because with the Lost Ranger, we can send the three of you to the monster homeworld and find out what Mesmero has been up to after all. So is there anything the two of you would like to do before you were summoned to the HQ?
I would say just make sure that we have the Ranger sort of in tow, knocked out. You know, he's kind of slung over one of our shoulders maybe, and take him to home base. Go see what Monitor's up to. He had that message for us.
Okay, so as far as I know, the two of you, like a zip line, wire through this sort of New Orleans cemetery, through a mausoleum, where you have this underground fortress hidden within a mausoleum in a cemetery, and you zip line to the monitor-related area with Tom Berry, our robot assistant, and the creature that walks behind the walls, which is Monitor, his like ghostly essence, in this room full of technology. Mostly black on the outsides, gives it a little bit of a space look from all of the monitors, almost as if they all have screensavers on. When the two of you burst into action, and for convenience, of course, Alistair's with you. So the three of you zipline into action. All three of you are here. You're still teenagers, unless you tell me it's morphin' time. You have Percival with you, and as soon as you arrive, Tom Berry, basically knowing you're coming, comes up to you. Now, it's usually just this floating sort of drone. But Tom Berry, ready for you to bring this Lost Ranger, has this table set up that looks like it's basically wired into the floor that it can move like some automated thing, and is moving right to your location. And Tom Berry is basically just like with almost like these like light holograms, is like portraying the position of where it wants the table to be, for you to just effortlessly lay Percival onto the basically kind of like a bed, like a hospital bed. That's what it looks like.
Will help, Brandy.
Now, Brandy, you see Monitor. Monitor is walking in the walls, right? We see him as like kind of like a ghostly silhouette, like this sort of like energy light show shadow that walks through the cornered wall ahead of you, like this just flat wall that he can walk around the corners and he can walk in a full 360 around you around the room, but he can't leave these walls. And you always have this silhouette that looks a little bit like some kind of a hooded wizard, if you will. Um, Rangers, it's good to see you again. I believe this is Percy, the Lost Ranger. Is that correct?
According to what he told us, Monitor, I think he might have been messed up a little bit by Mesmero. He thought that Brandy was the one who actually took him down when I guess he got stranded here. We didn't get a chance to ask him though. He kind of went into a really aggressive attack, and we
knocked him out with a beer bottle.
Conveniently, as you're saying this, Tom Berry walks over to him. Flies over like the drone he is with the little antennas, and scans him again and starts throwing up some of his most recent thoughts along the wall, which of course showcases Brandy getting like drop kicked, pushed back by a constant onslaught against the wall in the corner of the juice bar, at which she finally was able to grab a beer bottle and smash it over his head, knocking him unconscious. But with that, you do see his thoughts, this triggered moment of what he was thinking at the time, of what he saw, and it's very strange because you see him, and when he's like in this weird sort of place. Think of it like if you were like on Mars, kind of like we always see these pictures with the spacemen. Like for some reason it's all black sky, but they're like on this rocky flat surface that maybe it's got like craters or whatever, but it's just like a sort of dirt-looking surface. And ahead of them is this oval sort of like standing mirror, like right out of a fairy tale, like a tall oval that kind of sits in a wooden side case that's sitting on the ground. And the holster is all this sort of like metal with runes in it, and in the mirror it has this sort of Austin Powers like spiral to it of like weird randomness. And he looks at it and he sees the Black Ranger that looks just like Brandy. And the Black Ranger's like, "Are you coming? Are you coming? Your friends need your help. You're a ranger, aren't you? Follow me." And when basically you see the White Ranger, which is this Lost Ranger, run up, and as he gets right up to the portal, "After you. I have to make sure that everyone gets through." And when he gets thrown through the portal, you see that he ends up in basically high with no memory of what happened, except for this berserker rage of being betrayed by this Black Ranger, and laughter, which is obviously the laughter of Mesmero. And with our little audience camera, we can see Mesmero kind of like bouncing left and right like a little imp, going, "Ha ha ha, I got him." Clearly an illusion, as he sent and betrayed the White Ranger in this case, and sent him with his memory. So you can see why he's upset, and there was some truth to like his friends were in trouble and they were gone. So he knows it seems like he probably knows is that like the Black Ranger betrayed him, and that his friends were missing, and that was from something before.
Well, I can definitely see why he might be confused, Brandy. That looked like Mesmero sure did a number on him. Tom?
Mesmero managed to trick Mr. Snuffleupagus, so I mean, this really shouldn't be that far of a stretch.
True.
Monitor's voice, always being the most respectful in the room. Gatekeeper.
Well, I mean, Percy's like, not. So, I guess it's not too far of a stretch that they could have messed with his head.
But
go ahead.
I mean, is there any way to get back his memories? We saw an influence on that, but like, can we? I don't know. Kind of show him that it wasn't us.
What strategy do you have that could kind of help with technical things?
Well, I'm really good at messing around with things. I think maybe with enough time, I could maybe plan a way to. Well, actually, no. Probably maybe deconstruct some of the mental holds on them. How would I do this? I would find a way to deconstruct what Mesmero did to him by maybe doing a feedback loop of the memories that were kind of extracting from his mind and then kind of like putting it back in on sort of like the more conscious aspect of him. So as Tom Berry's, I'm sure, kind of taking these out of the archive, taking it from the archive and putting it maybe like into the active files of his brain to show that like, okay, we have the memories, we just gotta zap them with it, you know.
Probably, gosh, it sounds pretty reasonable to you, but let's make it an imagine roll. Make it imagine in which strategy would fit.
Let's go deconstruct.
I'm sorry, that's a reasonable use of deconstruct. Go reason deconstruct.
So I'm trying to kind of finagle everything and.
Yeah. As Tom Berry kind of sees like your train of code as you're looking to do this and starting to interact. Oh no! What are you doing? If this goes wrong, you could implant the wrong memories.
Oh, no! This is fine. I definitely have this, and you see wires kind of sparking as he's like trying to put stuff together.
Oh no! Don't touch that.
Tom Berry, I got this.
Two successes.
Okay.
By deconstructing basically stuff from the archives, you can implant things back into his memory. Now, it sounds like you were doing this in a way to maybe kind of reconstruct his memory in the way that's useful. What does it look like now?
He kind of has less of a idea. How does that look now? I imagine up until this point, he had accurate memories until he got to the portal.
He did.
So he knows he was a ranger. He knows the Black Ranger was there, and he knows he was tricked in some capacity. So maybe showing him kind of what we know, that it was Mesmero who actually did this to you, and kind of messing with the memories that way. And in a useful way, having him remember. I know Monitor said that with this we can use him to get to Orpheus, but maybe if he has his memory back and he knows that we didn't do it, he can take us himself to Orpheus.
Okay. So, you, as you're digging through his memories, and as you're placing new memories in, you realize that there's something here that you just can't quite make reason of. And that's not the strangest thing, because everything you know of Mesmero has been magic related. There was this one sort of, it's like a film cut, like when they cut things out, but there's still like that 1/30th of a scene that they didn't quite get out. Like that one frame in like the old film reel that goes really fast. You can tell that when he went through that portal, there was a second there that he caught in the reflection of the portal. Actually, he saw Mesmero, but what he saw, what was more interesting, was Mesmero stuck this like staff into the ground, and it obviously was like shooting something in his direction. And metagame wise, it's actually the beacon of the spell. There is actually a physical device that is probably right outside of where that gate was, that is like keeping this sort of like enchantment effect on his memory.
Okay.
You can fix and recreate his memories, but what you're basically going to find out is that you can't cure his rage.
Oh, sort of. So like as Isaac is kind of looking at this, he's like, oh man. All right. I have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is it looks like his rather unsavory temperament is not the result of memory, it's a result of an enchantment. And that's tied to a device that Mesmero currently has. The good news is I can give him back his memories, but he's still going to be a little bit messed up in the noggin.
Can you do that, like, to anybody? Because I have some blackout spells that I'd really like to piece together.
I mean...
Anyway, maybe later.
Maybe. Okay, so we know we can unrage.
With your double success, feeling like I need to give you a little bit more as the proper game master for succeeding, you also caught that he heard something that was coming from the other side of the portal. Not through it, like other side behind the mirror. And it sounded like the Silver Ranger to him. So somebody may have actually been laying on the ground or hiding there that was one of the Lost Rangers.
Well, that's weird. I kind of play that back on.
He didn't get a look. You can just, like, he basically heard something. But because you're messing with his memories, you can tell that the memories associated with the Silver Ranger. You have like this picture in his mind that's not of the scene right there.
Got it. So I have this kind of like up as sort of like, I don't know, maybe this Minority Report thing, and just like, play back that sound. Huh. That's weird, and I kind of tell them too, he's associating this sound with the Silver Ranger. I don't know, maybe the Silver Ranger was on the other side of the portal when he got dumped here?
Brady, it does sound like something that there's been plenty of times that you've had like shenanigans, whether it's somebody hiding or someone who runs over real quick, bends over behind someone, so when you shove them they fall on their butt. There's all kinds of things that it's not the strangest thing you've ever heard.
I don't know. What do you think, Brandy? I can't make heads or tails of this.
Well, I mean, I suppose there's a chance that if the Silver Ranger isn't able to be located here, they could be there. Mesmero could have also maybe have used the Silver Ranger as a decoy or something to even get Percy to come near him. I don't know.
Alistair speaks up. When I was looking at the Akashic Records, I couldn't help but think that Mesmero would know everything we would do. If he had a glimpse at everything that was going to happen, he would have had to have known that we'd come after him and that we'd find Percy. And he just lets that trail off.
So maybe he's already set a trap for us.
Monitor chimes in. Well, so as the Rangers, we can use his frequency, the frequency of his memory. We can follow that and zip the three of you right to the homeworld. Using your morphers, you can travel there.
That's our option right now. That's our only option. We need to stop Mesmero. And we got to be cautious. We don't know just how tricky he is or what his memories on the Akashic Records led him to learn. We got to be quick. Can you take us there now, Monitor?
Yeah, he can take you as soon as you want. Brandy, is there anything you want to do here?
Get my stash. Bottle of whiskey.
Are you going to be able to carry all that, Brandy?
Yes. Small bottle. I'll probably finish it on the way.
So Brandy slides over one of the coffins in this sort of like mausoleum, and slides over the section, finding the part that she taped her little flask of alcohol.
Yep.
Okay. With that, when you're ready, Monitor says, "Good luck, Rangers." And for your entertainment, as you travel through basically like space and time, headed to the monster world. It's almost like elevator music that plays in the background. You see basically that you hear Monitor's voice as he kind of lectures you. Percival was one of the 3 lost rangers, lost because they sacrificed themselves to forever scout on the monster homeworld. They gave up their friends and their families, even their place in time and space, so that they could make sure that the rest of the Rangers would know if the homeworld ever became too much of a problem. And you see basically, the White Ranger, and then like he fades, and then you see this giraffe, which is obviously the giraffe Zord that he was showing, and then you see the Silver Ranger, and then he fades, and you see this silverback gorilla Zord, and then he fades, and then you see another, which is like, you took gold, so let's say it's...
Oh, yeah, gold, amber, yellow, one of those.
How about... Ooh, I like amber. Why don't we do amber? And we have the Amber Ranger, and the Amber Ranger fades into this very cat-like sort of lion Zord. And you can almost like throughout time, these are like 3 of these like rangers that have lived well beyond their mortal period. Now the interesting thing is it just kind of like begins going on and talking about it is they survive in the monster homeworld because they are invisible to the monsters. The trick is they were humans at one time, and the monsters don't believe that there are any humans on their world. So, therefore, they don't see any. Okay. The 2 of you, with Alistair, abruptly appear in utter darkness. Now, zipping through here, you didn't have to become Rangers. So I need to know if you morphed ahead of time.
No, I did not.
I probably didn't.
Do you think we did? No.
Okay. You both appear, and when you zip through and you appear, you are in utter darkness. Everything is black. And those words sort of echo through your head. The monsters don't see the Rangers because there are no humans on the monster homeworld. If they would just know that there was, they would suddenly see the Rangers in clear view.
That sounds like we are going to need disguises. So, first off, I can't see anything.
You 2 can't see anything. The only reason you even know you're there or that the ride stopped was because you were kind of like through this tracer effect through the cosmos of multiple colors as you were just flying through like the speed of sound and then appeared. But when that ride stopped, you were just in complete darkness.
I will ask Alistair to get a little light so we can see each other real quick.
He, oh, good, you're here. I didn't know if it was just me. Brandy, are you here?
Yep.
Is anybody else here?
No. Brandy, that's your hand, right?
Sorry.
Okay. As he's looking around, I don't know if I should use magic. If I use magic, maybe they'll know we're here.
Well, I guess we can try to get through and find a way to a light source. I might have 1 second, a flashlight.
The 2 of you and Alistair, of course, hear a laughter that kind of like picks up very slow and gets louder. The same laughter you heard from Percival's thoughts. It's, I knew you would come. Find me, you can't see me. It sounds like some kind of monstrous voice. Not monstrous like big and scary, monstrous like, like impish or goblin-like, which sounds very much like Mesmero or one of his minions. And you can tell that whatever's going on 2/3 of you, it's obviously some form of magic.
Oh, that we can't see?
Yeah.
Of course
Oh.
we can't see you. You're hiding and behind darkness like a coward. What even? Seriously, we are on your playing field. We have traveled here, and this is what you're going to do. You're going to turn off the lights. What are you, 4? You know, I really thought like these interplanetary dimensional beings were going to be so much cooler, but so far I have just been so disappointed.
Oh, Randy, that's belligerent.
Okay.
So come out and play. We're here.
Thank you, Pints and Pie. Okay.
All right.
What strategy would help you? Let's see
I'm
what
belligerent.
you think. Oh, right. It's probably a reasonable use, honestly, right?
Let's see, strategy, brawling, making excuses, and bad advice.
I see some options. Are you making excuses because this trap is lame?
No.
Or are
No,
you
I'm
picking a
brawling.
fight?
I'm calling him out. I'm actively calling him out because I know that we're in the dark.
Okay. Why don't you
So,
go
trying to-
imagine brawling?
Okay.
Okay, 1 success. Any tags that could help you? Oh, looks like we lost hers.
Oh no! Oh no!
Am I back?
Yep.
Yes.
Sorry, I got a phone call. How rude. Anyway.
How rude.
Just look around, Brandy,
Yeah.
Alistair. Brandy, Alistair. It's dark.
Alrighty, here we go. So I did not hear what happened after I rolled.
Oh, you got 1 success. So what tag could help you here?
Well, let's see. I've got belligerent.
Okay.
I've got dumb luck. I don't know if would this qualify as hold my beer. There's just so many.
I would have to hold on to your beer or your booze, your stash.
So let's see. Maybe we go with belligerent.
Okay. How does it help you?
Just getting under his skin, calling him out, making him think that I'm not taking him seriously. I'm egging him on.
Awesome. So in this case, reroll your soul skill. So see if you do better with that 10. See if you get something better than something lower than a 6.
Okay, and do I roll that with belligerent or do I just pick any empty spot?
Go to belligerent.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, so you get 2 successes. So this works. And what's funny is you hear the wand or the staff that's actually in the ground that's causing problems for the 2 of you, this darkness, which you didn't know it was another staff in the ground, because it seems to be his motif of how he has these ongoing spells. But it starts to repeat itself as it's like a recorded message that says, again, something like, find me, you can't see me. But you hear noises. You hear noises of people digging themselves out of the ground. Now, of course, you can't see. So you've got someone here to pick a fight with, someone here to show themselves and give you a hard time. But right now, you all have blindfolds on. So we have a challenge. Unless you can somehow work this to your advantage beforehand, because you did succeed. So anything you hope to do with what must be at least a handful of these monsters, low-level minion monsters pulling themselves from the ground.
Let's see, I do have dumb luck.
You do have dumb luck. That's great. Oh, well, that's really.
And you
good.
said the staff. There's a staff in the ground, right?
Yeah, and
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
With you saying dumb luck, why don't we give this to you? Because what you wanted was these minions to come out, or whoever was behind this, and that's the best you're gonna get. but it doesn't mean that when they come out, they couldn't have disrupted the staff. So,
Okay, yeah.
right? Because it should be a success for you as well. So, as you hear this like clawing and this gripping and then like earth moving, Isaac, what do you do? As you just hear these noises and they come from all around you.
I will sort of look around and like, we can't see, and I think we're under attack. Well, we gotta find, would Isaac know that there's a staff at work now, I'm wondering? Because Brandy has kind of like that concept. Do I hear like sort of the recorded message of it, or?
You did hear the recorded message of it, right? You heard exactly the same thing twice, and came exactly from the same place?
So I'm going to like just kind of like bumble my way through the darkness,
Okay.
trying to like just find this staff, and I'm like, and like knock it down or shatter it.
Even better, right? So you hear Alistair, oh no, what's got me? It's more, as he tries to spit out its morphin time. And you find yourself grabbing onto some object that feels like kind of like sticking keys in like an electric outlet. I mean, I've done it. I don't know if you have, but you grab onto this, and it's shocking, but not shocking in a way that like throws you 10 feet back.
Yeah.
What do? Do you rip it from the ground? Do you push it? Do you knock it over? Do you?
I like try to tolerate it and rip it from the ground, throwing it down.
Okay. As soon as you rip it from the ground, almost like it was like a sheet over the head of both of you, as you rip it out of the ground, like the sheet flies off of you, and both of you can instantly see you were both surrounded by these gold putty looking guys that have a little bit of like the sharpened triangular shoulders and almost like a helmet, even though they're like fully masked with no eyes or facial features. They look almost like regal putties. And there is quite a few of them all around you. And they were all kind of like almost like a group, like circling and coming closer and closer. And you can see that they're passing Alistair backwards.
Oh no, Alistair!
You find the putties in front of you. It is a challenge, so I'm going to throw that up and start talking about it. What do the two of you want to do with this handful of golden putties surrounding you?
Brandy, we gotta get back Alistair!
I think it's morphin time.
Okay, and I like, I would agree. It is morphin time.
Okay.
And while Ian, Isaac, Ish Kebab
Isaac.
starts doing his thing, she's like this as she's chugging.
Isaac throws up his card, splashes it, goes chariot mode again.
Okay. What does it look like to the audience who maybe has never seen you morph before? When it's morphin time.
Immediately you take out the tarot card, Isaac being the chariot ranger. His card just kind of like flashes, and he tosses it out and it kind of becomes light. And then like as it tosses out, it comes back and hits him. And like just gloves, the armor, and then the helmet hits, and it looks just kind of like a stylized chariot, like with like maybe like golden like tracks kind of going across the helmet. And he just kind of like jumps out of that and kind of materializes his weapon, which I think we said was a brass whip. And he has like, I guess, an optional chariot, but I don't think I'm going to bring out the chariot to ride yet.
Not just yet.
I got other plans for that chariot.
So he has a chariot, and since my tarot card is death, can I get like the skeleton horse?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be so cool.
Re-ride. And then how does the death one look?
And would you say, how does what work?
And then I know Brandy is death. How's that look?
Let's see. Hmm. Well, all right. Probably. Well, once I finish my drink, cap it off, put it back in my pocket or whatever, and then I would go and do the same exact thing, pull the card, and it would be the Death Tarot card. I'm trying to think, and that is as good as explaining the whole transformation thing. And I've seen some Power Ranger uniforms where they're uniform, and I've seen them where they each were just a little individualized. I don't know if I'd want her to go full out having some sort of like skull or something, but I've noticed that like each of the tarot cards, when you really look at them consistently, there seems to be a symbol that seems to kind of be associated. It's very understated. You have to like look through the card and you'll find it, and then maybe different artists will do it and you'll find it. I didn't spend a whole lot of time researching, so I would probably think that she'd have like the whole like creepy black energy type thing going, and then the symbol would probably be on the helmet above the visor.
I like that.
But and then of course her weapon would materialize, and that would be a giant sickle.
For some reason, I keep thinking your like helmet would look a little more like a hood, like even if it had a little bit of a point in the back, like just a little bit more of like the cowl look.
That's right.
That would be cute.
Okay. With that, the two of you morph, or Miller, depending on your preference.
Miller time.
The gold putties rush both of you, and they start lunging. What's funny is, of course, like the first two that come directly at both of you sort of somersault in front of you as they try to roll past you. And then the next two, almost like synchronized, both flying kick as they both try to spin at your head. Conveniently for both of you as Power Rangers, you deftly move out of the way, but find yourself surrounded by these putties. What do you do? You hear one of them say, for Emperor Orpheus.
Ooh, I don't like that.
You being the tech guy, though, you recognize that he said Orpheus, not Orpheus, like what was mentioned from the Akashic Records. It does sound like it's two different pronunciations.
That's interesting.
Okay. Which one of you wants to do what first?
Oh, I'd go in swinging the sickle.
Okay. Swinging your sickle, which strategy do you use for that?
Brawling.
Okay. It sounds like a reasonable use of brawling against these golden putties that surround you. So give me a reason, brawling.
I love it when Brandy brawls.
All right. Now that we have a challenge, as soon as you get successes, I see if any of my challenges tags can affect you. And in this case, you have this scythe. You start spinning it around, swinging at these putties who are all around you. But they work in unison to basically all dive to the ground as some get up high, and then some just start tickling you on the sides, seeing if they can stop you from scything them all in one fell swoop. Reroll both your dice.
Oh, wow. You got this, Brandy.
There's a little Gucci Gucci Goo. One success. Any tags you want to use to try to get that soul skill under 4?
You can go ahead. You can tickle me, but I probably like it.
What tag would that be?
Hedonistic. Hedonistic.
Awesome.
Oh,
they like
man.
surround you in this sort of like, golden sort of human tower. As on both sides of you, they tickle you, and then these two guys like fly in the air and land on their shoulders like cheerleaders, trying to like attack towards the top of your head. And
all right, and she says, She basically says, I'm not drunk enough for this, you guys.
All right. Okay. Now that was just one tag. Your belief is how high?
I have trouble reading it. Oh my
I think
gosh.
it's 4, 5, or 6. It's one of those.
I have it as 6.
Okay. With 6, you can use up to 2 tags. So, you have something else that would help you here? As they tickle you, you're like, I don't mind this. But it still distracts you long enough that they create these 2 guys on top of the shoulders that have the high ground. And they try to take your scythe out of your reach as they start lifting you off the ground by both ends of your scythe.
I'm still going with dumb luck.
Okay.
Somehow I pulled them off balance.
All right. So as they lift you up in the air, maybe something happens such as... Awesome. What is your dumb luck look like?
Me possibly squealing and like flinching, going, not there! And that just being enough to yank it off balance.
Okay, you squeal, and 2 of the individuals on one side give way as they look up to see what happens, throwing the putty on their shoulders off kilter, and the guy above you lets go of the part of your scythe, the handle part of your scythe, as there's that twinkle toes noise effect as he then falls and that whole row of them collapse on top of each other. That's a body... body target. So body goes from 6 to 4, and then that was weird. This is the first time I've actually had 2 monitors for a long time. So I was looking at the screen I always look at, and I clicked it. I'm like, how did that work? That's not even the right screen.
Oh man.
And 4. Okay. And then when you get successes like that, you can remove one of their tags. Like they use teamwork against you right there. They also have Alistair as their hostage, which is another advantage they have on you. And this is all a part of a trap, which is another advantage of the situation. So do you think one of those is no longer a part of the problem?
Maybe in their weird, what color are they?
They're like golden.
Golden, their weird golden putty fetish pile. They...
Ooh. The word fetish pile. I'm like,
I invented it right now. So it somehow like loosens their hold on poor Alistair, who's probably like third wheeling it to the side, going, I really don't want to have any part of this. But that could possibly, that tumble could have loosened their hold on Alistair.
Sure. Okay. Alistair is no longer a hostage. And okay.
awesome.
Isaac, what do you want to do?
Seeing as there's a lot of them and they're regal, he doesn't just want to use a whip. I think he wants to use his chariot too. So he kind of like, oh man, I hope this works. And he takes his light and he just shoves it. And he materializes it in the air. And like the drawbar and the axle kind of just like disappear. And like he kind of manipulates it so the spokes kind of just extend a little bit. And he takes his whip and just whoosh, wraps it around the crossbar that you usually use to like hold on to the chariot. And it just kind of stands there in midair and then just falls down.
Awesome.
As he kind of like tightens the whip, and with the chariot at the end turns it into like this weird golden mace and just starts.
Nice.
Awesome. What strategy do you think that is?
I'm going to start. Well, Isaac will like, so it kind of like lands down into a pile of these guys.
Putty fetish pile. Trademark.
the putty fetish pile. Oof. And he's just like, taking the end of this and just like, just like hitting one, trying to bounce it after another, kind of
Yeah.
like Captain America's shield, except a giant mace. Just so he's kind of planning a trajectory
Yeah.
that's gonna best kind of wipe out the teamwork that these guys are kind of using.
Okay. What strategy do you want to use for the role?
Planning.
Planning. It's all a part of your elaborate plan. I would say use Imagine.
Okay. So I will do that. And imagine. Boop. Hot diggity
2
dog.
successes. You're using it against their teamwork because it's to their disadvantage. This is a part of a trap, though. They would have... Mesmero might have known of your chariot action. So, but gosh, I don't think he... Even in all the... Well, if it's a mace... Nope, I don't got anything. Rock on with your bad self. So 2 successes. With that, you're targeting the body, right? As you're beating the crap out of these guys?
Beating the crap out of these guys and trying to break up their teamwork.
Okay.
They're too well coordinated, and I'm
Sounds
hitting them with
effective
my
to me.
mace. My chariot mace.
As you are smashing some of them like a hammer to a nail, as they're just putty, like they're just like silly putty, you're splatting them, and there is just this like circular pancake of what was once the golden putty. You were smashing them, and you see Alistair's like crawling through them because he was dropped amidst like this group of them. Hey guys, I'm coming! And he like does this sort of like kip up into action, and as he flips through the air, you can basically see him like slip the card in and do his motion and his action, and says his Morphin. God, what did he say? Anyway, slips his card in and goes Hierophant, and lands right between the both of you, with the 3 of you looking straight at one wall of these golden putties, and are surrounded by all of these like stamped out ones that are on the ground. Okay. Brandy, is there anything you'd like to do before they regroup and rush you?
Okay. Swipe it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh.
A group of them runs towards you, and one in the back stays behind. He pulls out something which looks like a whistle, and it looks like he's gonna blow it loudly.
Okay. I think I am going to attempt to use my sickle. I imagine that it's probably I can't decide whether it's scythe or scythe or whatever, so I'm calling it sickle
Sure.
for right now. I'm going to assume that her sickle is probably taller than she is, because most of the time in the depictions of death, his sickle is really big.
Cool.
So I'm going to see if I can use the sickle and kind of do like the whole pole vaulting type thing.
Ooh.
And try to
That's
actually
awesome.
get over the, and throw in some brawling jiu-jitsu, Power Ranger cool moves along the way, but try to get over the group of putties to try to basically just like land on the whistleblower for some ground and pound.
Okay. Cool. So it sounds like something kind of acrobatic, right? What strategy do you use?
I've got brawling.
Brawling. Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine
I've got
brawling.
making excuses, brawling, and bad advice. I'm not a very physical person, apparently, unless I'm angry. Okay, so imagine.
Yeah.
Yes.
1 success.
Okay.
So you flip over, and the whistle he was blowing was a trap for you, right? To draw attention. So as you flip over, all of the putties that you go over, grab your 10-foot pole that you stuck into the ground, and start trying to run with you with it, and try to use you as a spear towards Isaac. That's what they're going to try to do, but we're going to see how well you do, first of all. So reroll your strategy. So just pick any random empty die on the Roll20 sheet.
Okay.
Oh, but even worse, not only did it not help, but it gave you doubles, which made this a critical failure. So in this case, so you're like, as you stick the pole in the ground, and you're like coming over across, ready to like flip the scythe back down and just utterly demolish this whistle blowing gold putty. The group grabs the bottom half of your staff, and their intention was to run at Isaac and use you with the sharp end, like in that way. Now, a critical fail though. I asked the two of you first. What do you want to get out of this, right? So, Jessica, what's the worst thing that can happen with what they're trying to do?
None of my tags help with this situation, correct?
As soon as a crit happens, it's stuck.
Okay. I mean, obviously, the worst thing that could happen was that they actually hit him.
Okay. And Isaac, what's the worst possible thing that could happen?
For me to lose my weapon.
Okay. Oh, so, and do you still have that whip attached to the chariot like a mace? All right. So, and basically, as they take her for a ride, as she was like up in the air, like basically holding towards the top of this giant scythe, they grab the bottom, and as they pull it down and they kind of swing it over, she kind of like ends up close to the blade as this like counterweight, and it just comes crashing down towards you. Now, unfortunately, this is an attack, right? So, Brandy, you're going to take 4 points to your body. Can you take that?
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
4 full points?
Yep.
Okay.
What's your body?
5.
All right, cool. So you take 4 points. Now, you get a negative tag because it was a bad thing, right? So in this case, sorry, all I can think of is puns sometimes. So like you got the sharp end of the stick, but let's see. What would be something that's negative that lingers for Brandy? Do you have anything you think? Is there anything you'd like for it to happen to your character, not you, right? Something negative that lingers with you from
my
this.
alcohol. Like my stash falls out and gets busted.
No!
That's an example, because that would be awful for her.
Yeah, but we've already picked on your alcohol. We gave you that negative alcohol thing too.
Yeah.
So why don't we say that you're gullible?
Oh.
Maybe what we learned from this situation is that you fall for gullible tactics. At least once.
So I was thinking like maybe like gullible, but not like gullible, but like when you like someone is maybe like short-tempered or impulsive, yeah, something like, because it like whenever someone's like, "Hey, you suck," I'll show you.
That sounds great. Let's say impulsive. You have to put it. It's gonna block one of your good tags though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She rides the end of this scimitar, which is it's like a battering ram scimitar, giant human halberd that's coming right at you, Isaac. What strategy would help you not get utterly demolished by this thing, and hopefully only have your chariot affected?
Immediately, only my chariot affected. Probably blocking with it. Either blocking with it or just like letting it go and just leaping out of the way and it dissipates into light, maybe.
Yeah, either could happen, but which strategy would help you do either of those things?
I'm going to like go from like being very in control to, like and just like dropping it and like bumbling out of the way, like. So, strategy: bumble out of the way.
Okay, bumbling. I would say imagine, given that you had little to no time, right? It wasn't a part of the plan.
And what would you say, imagine or reason?
I'm going to say imagine, unless you didn't notice it. If you just didn't notice it and you were just bumbling around and it didn't hit you, that would be a reasonable use of if you're bumbling.
I think if I was planning it, I probably would have tried blocking. But since it was like so unexpected, I just tossed my weapon and just leapt out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to say imagine then.
Alright. Let's do the bumble.
Okay.
Ooh.
You got one success. As soon as you get a
One
success,
success.
I see if the trap can hurt you. And obviously you were falling victim to this trap. This giant halberd is coming down and it's crashing towards you. And your chariot actually, when you like let go of your weapon, the whip kind of fell and the chariot was kind of going through the air, and it slices right through your chariot. Now these, they're like morphin blasters. You can summon them back. It's not like you've lost your chariot for good. It's just like gone for right now, right? It slices right through it like butter, and it just keeps coming right towards you as if it was like heat seeking. Reroll your strategy and see if you keep it.
Sure.
It was almost like this was meant to be.
Bum, bum, bum. Alright. Reroll.
Okay.
7.
No successes, but you still have at least 2 tags you can use. So.
Alright.
And you can always buy your way out of it.
I could buy my way out of that. And you can't use negative tags to reroll, can you?
Nope.
Alright, that's what I thought. Well, I happen to be neighbors with Brandy.
And speaking of that, I need to fix this thing too. The body should be at 2. Because you heard it twice.
And being neighbors with Brandy, how would that help? I kind of like hear her coming, like, just like I hear, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, and then like look, and I'm like, ah, and it just gives me just that split second of time to jump out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, you see her like, her and all of her. You went to green, right, Jessica? You went from black to green, ranger-wise?
I went from green to black.
Sorry, I said it backwards. Yeah, so green to black. Yeah, so you see as it's coming down, almost like the light shines. You can see her in all of her like ranger glory, stuck like trying to fight off, not getting stuck by her own blade as she's like riding the pole towards it. And unfortunately, if you could see like the facial features, I imagine she'd be looking at you in horror as she's stuck between a rock and a hard place. So,
Oh no.
you hear these noises, and let's see if it helps.
I think I'm going to, with that roll, I think I'm going to spend 2 belief to create, let's see, I'm sitting pretty at 8. I will spend 2 belief to do a critical success.
All right. Take over, Maestro. What happens?
So she's coming down.
I like to think the screen pans away from you as like the audience doesn't need to see the actual horror of what's about to happen.
So Isaac kind of, because you said it was heat seeking almost,
Yeah.
like it was following me, and you
Like
just
cut
see
through the
Isaac.
chariot and almost like kind of wrap turn towards you.
It's like almost like this improv like melee style where Isaac is barely like making it past all these like cuts. So like it comes down, the chariot's like slice, it dissipates in the light, and he kind of like gets up like this, and the thing comes right at him, and he just like jumps like down to the like very clumsily, like just falls down to the ground. He's like looking around, like seeing where it goes, and you just see like the cameras on him. And the slice slowly goes up like it's gonna cut him again, and he just rolls out of the way, and he's just like ah. So by the end of that, he's avoided it, but he's just sitting there in his ranger suit like.
Now this was trying to hurt you, and since you critically succeeded, you will do the damage to the challenge. So this is going to defeat the challenge. So how does this trap unwind itself?
Basically, like when it has like done that, and maybe the scythe and Isaac are kind of squaring off, like he's just backing up, like Brandy just kind of comes on, she's like, all right, enough of that, like kind of just she's able to get control of her scythe back.
Yeah. Brandy, you gotta take it for a ride, but at the end of the day, you're going to get control of the scythe back. What does that look like, and how does it wipe out these gold putties?
Well, once they They've tried to use me like a battering ram, or I guess use my weapon as a battering ram. I'm assuming that at this point they've dispersed,
Okay.
and
They're running for the hills.
yeah. And so at that point, I think I would call on the whole skeletal horse thing,
Okay.
and probably chase after a couple angrily,
As they're doing that,
swinging
like
at
sort of
them.
fast forward, like, oh no, oh no, we gotta tell Emperor Alpheus about this. The Emperor must know. There are rangers abound. And as they're kind of like running around, and you summon this skeletal horse, as you jump, I imagine like maybe like it bursts out of the ground like in a flame, and like as it's going by you, you can like grab onto it and like throw yourself onto the saddle.
So with my sickle.
Yeah. And you just run by like mowing these putties in half.
Yep. Just mowing them down.
And for the
Throwing
audience,
out
right, it's
cryptic,
like you're cutting them, but you're like at the
half-drunk,
far end of the
cryptic
screen,
stuff
like the horizon.
Death, writing, tell him death's coming for him, being all dramatic
Oh
and
my god.
half drunk and angry because they tickled me, and then they deserve it.
So in true Power Ranger fashion, you actually like chase after them. We see sparks as you slash at them, and they get knocked over and lay on there. They litter the ground, laying in like just these little characters that are like laid out, and you chase them down. Isaac, Alistair looks to you. Whew, that was close. As he helps you up, as you were like dodging and bobbing and weaving. I think they know we're here now. As he kind of like looks out to the horizon. How come we haven't seen more of them? If this is the monster homeworld, I thought they'd be everywhere.
Maybe we're in the outskirts. The important thing though is we gotta find civilization fast. Get to where we need to get to. And we're gonna need some disguises.
Now what's really funny about that is now that you're rangers, you can kind of see like more than you could see before, because you're kind of like in tune with like this monster world. You're not just the human teenagers. So you now notice that back where you started, right by kind of where that staff was in the ground, maybe just a little bit further, there was a wooden signpost stuck in the ground, and you're pretty sure it has words on it. As you come closer, you could read it.
Let's look at this signpost.
Alistair looks.
Look it up.
Oh no. Obviously, everything's a trap. As you get closer, you see a sign, and the sign says, "This way, Rangers." If you keep following, you'll find another sign. Brandy, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that I ride back, probably still yelling at him over my shoulder, and I would get off the horse would dissipate, and I would pick up the staff that was knocked over. I'd probably fiddle with it and then end up bringing it to Alistair.
Okay. When you grab that staff, you go to pick it up. Do you get off the horse when you pick it up? Or do you kind of like do some flashy... Okay.
No, I get off the horse dissipates.
All right. It fades and does a skeletal like nay as it like ghostly dissipates, and you pick up this staff, right? And when you pick it up, you were shocked to realize that you were now whisked away you were in the middle of a bar, surrounded by monsters. And this place it reminds you a little bit of the Juice Bar, or some of those dive bars you saw in your troubled childhood. And there's a bar that's basically like L-shaped along one side. The ceiling's kind of low, given how tall a lot of the monsters are. It feels a little bit kind of like Tatooine, except for like more small and dive barish. And you were just surrounded. Every creature in here is a monster making weird noise vocalizations of how they speak, but you seem to be able to understand everything they say, and you're pretty sure that's because of your Power Ranger abilities. Now, you just appear and you see all of them. But there was a little tidbit that Isaac was told earlier. Sorry, that was a great look that you had on your face, Pedro.
I'm like, oh no!
You don't know, possibly you don't know that they can't see you yet. So, which one of your strategies would help you be cool and not freak out? By the way, Isaac, so you saw her ride back, and you and Alistair were just kind of like walking, talking, pointing at the signs, looking, and you look back and you saw her riding back, and then you look back again, and she's gone. And you see that like one of Mesmero's like staffs, like on the ground, and it just kind of like obviously was dropped.
Oh no, Alistair! Oh no!
he looks at you. What? Another sign?
Another trap.
So
he starts walking. He's like, yeah, there's one more sign, and as you find yourself him walking further away from you, about 10 feet, looking at a sign, as you're standing there, kind of between the staff that sent her away and him moving further away from you. Brandy, what were you going to say?
My strategies are literally making excuses, brawling, bad advice. I think I would go with making excuses or bad advice, because that includes I can make excuses for myself and I can give myself bad advice.
Yeah, the bad advice, just thoughts that came to my head. Isaac noticed these things about like, he would remember all the layers of conversation that was spit out at him. You, on the other hand, may or may not. Like, on your flight here, basically, they were saying the Lost Rangers survive on this planet because they're human and they can't be seen by the monsters who don't think that they exist. But at the same point, the kind of reverse knowledge here is that sometimes you can't see the monsters unless you truly think they exist. And you were just thrown right amidst them, thinking that you're one Power Ranger surrounded by a bar of monsters. And these aren't like the putties, right? They're like, these could all be the summoned baddie of the episode sort of thing.
Okay, well, I am going to...
I like make excuses or bad advice if you actually put that together.
Okay, well, let me tell you about what my
Sure.
my move would be, and then we can try to see what would fit. Okay, so my deal is the death card. So, oh no.
Nope, still
Yes,
here. I
Pedro.
just have to
Okay.
adjust myself.
So so my tarot card is a death card.
Yeah.
And so, we've got all these cool things with like I've got like the skeletal horse and the sickle and everything. So what if I had like some sort of like, I don't know, skeletal appearance, like ghostly thing that would just kind of like a ghostly shroud type thing.
Okay.
I don't know. So therefore, I would tell myself if that were a part of my power, if that were a believable part of my thing to have as part of my Power Ranger ability, that I'd just totally blend in.
I see where you're going with it.
Get
Yeah,
myself
sure.
a drink.
How many of these monsters did I personally fight? These must have been monsters for all the other Power Rangers in the cosmos. They wouldn't recognize me. I look like Bones.
Yeah.
Okay. Make excuses. I'm going to say that's a stretch, right? So imagine make excuses. and then as some sessions of any game have, you find yourself with all kinds of critical problems. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this challenge screen. So, what is the worst thing that can happen when you just say, hey, look, I look like them. I fit right in. So
they
you as a
totally...
player, right? What do you think's the best, worst thing that could happen?
I get get challenged to a drinking. I get challenged to a drinking contest.
Okay.
That's
Pedro.
the best. If they realize who I am, that's the best worst thing.
Pedro, what do you think's the worst thing that could happen to her? When she makes an excuse. Hey, I look like one of them anyway. I fit right in.
That she doesn't fit right in
Okay.
is the worst possible thing that could happen right now.
So, you make yourself visible to them. You actually were not. But you thinking, oh, I fit right in. It's no big deal. I'm just one of the monsters. That sort of mental recognition makes you completely visible to all of them. And as soon as you appear, you're just standing there, between two tables towards the middle of the bar, and everything just gets absolutely quiet. As you hear, and then you hear all of these drinks that just start falling, trays getting knocked over, the endless pouring at the bar that's overfilling the mug, and just going on as everyone stares and looks to you, and you're as the whole monster bar is staring at you. One of them, just one voice, you can't even make out where it's from. Power Ranger? And you see from the far back, you see the hypnogriff staring right at you with his stupid spiraling eyes with the tilted head. And right after that, I'm totally gonna get blamed for this. Back to Isaac. So Isaac, you before you know it, Alistair gets 5 feet away from you. Not that far. Okay, distant arm stretch. But you look back and she's gone, and that staff is just kind of bouncing. Looks a little bit like the top of one of Rita Repulsa's staffs. It's not that long, right? But it's kind of like a shorter version.
Okay.
This weird sort of spirally thing within the circle, and yeah.
I immediately, Isaac will look down. I'm not gonna like this, am I? And he touches a staff, thinking maybe it's a key to the next trap.
Okay, so you go over to the staff that she had.
Yeah.
And pick that up. As you basically as you're going that way, right? You hear Alistair. They're all here. The coven's here. And if you look back, as if he walked behind a curtain in just clear day, which you can't see the curtain, almost like time and space, he opens something, he goes, "Hey, Isaac, my coven's here." And he walks through like a tent, and it just closes, and he's gone in space, right? Which leaves you with the staff basically in your hands, and poof, right? Now, the poof thing that's weird is you didn't actually go anywhere. It just, you couldn't see the others as they disappeared right here because they switched sides, basically. You were standing in the dark city of the monster homeworld, right? You just can't see it all because you choose not to see it. You find yourself flipped into the bar, and you see Brandy, and all of the monsters are staring at her. Now she, you can clear as day, because you're the smart one who detail-oriented, puts shit together, So you realize as soon as you appear, they all see her, and they don't see you because you know better, right? So, Brandy, what does he see? All of the monsters, the hypnogriff just said, oh shit, I'm totally getting blamed for this. They're all looking at you. One of them said Ranger, and yeah, in a second you're going to hear all the stools get pushed, right? Everyone's going to stand up to challenge you, right? What do you do?
I walk through. I walk up to the bar. I take the drink from the ever-pouring mug, and I somehow drink it.
Okay.
Now, okay, there's a helmet. And I just kick back and start drinking, and I'm like, cheers, and just completely chill.
Maybe a visor, right? You have a mouth slot?
Yeah, sure.
You can just slide it up to take a drink. Now, you in the previous battle, which just happened, got beat up. So what's funny about this too is you probably have like this sort of beat up, mangled look on your Power Ranger suit too. You're not in the best position, right, for a fist fight,
Nope.
especially with the horde here. Um, so Isaac, yeah, there's like no noise as she just like looks around and starts walking towards the bar counter, and then you start seeing everyone start clenching their weapons and getting up, and one person from another side goes, "For the Emperor!" And they all stand up in unison and all start like this place just went bananas. As she is by the bar, takes the drink that it was just overfilled with and just starts pouring it down the hatch.
Uh, can they hear or see me?
As far as you can tell, no.
Um,
But I guess the right thing to do is, well, in this case, just given the circumstances, we're going to say that you are the character most likely not to fall for this trap. So we'll just give it to you.
okay. Immediately kind of realizing what happened, I look to see if maybe Brandy can see me.
Okay. She has. You are kind of like off in the corner. Yeah, but if you try to have her see you, she can see you. Oh wait. Yeah, no, she can see you. You're both, especially because you're both rangers right now. Yeah. So you try to get in view and wave.
And I say, ask him who's going to get the bounty.
Okay.
They all start running towards you as if like everyone in this room, they're like knocking each other over trying to get to you. Um, and what do you say?
I hop up on the bar and I'm like, wait, time out, you guys. You can all have a piece of me. Not a lot to go around. But first, I have to sing a little song. I want to see if I can get them into a whole song where they tell me, no, I'm not going to sing on Twitch. I want to see if I can somehow spin this so that I have them singing and drinking.
Okay.
So I don't think it could even happen, but my character's drunk, so there's always a possibility.
The one hurdle you have is the hypnogriff in the back, as if something just got implanted in his head, goes, so you told him all this stuff. I was like, wait. We don't even have to fight her. All we gotta ask her about is her dad. And armed with your vulnerable piece of information, you are surrounded by all of these monsters who would love to tear you apart. But the one thing they could tear you apart even worse than them beating you up would be them all laughing at you about your troubled past.
Oh.
And you have this flagon in your hand that you were drinking, and it could just wipe the spirit, your insatiable thirst away. So how can you resist this? What strategy would help you not fall into this trap? Which it is a trap. Clearly it's a trap.
Okay.
Quick, quite existential
So-
angst.
It's fine. I'm going to die.
No! I'll help
Fine.
some way.
The biggest, scariest one near me.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my arm around him and be like, I don't know, can I call you daddy? And I'll
Awesome. And just because like Goldar needs to be in every Power Ranger episode possible, it's just straight up Goldar. Like it's not some version or some fake. It is like 100% Goldar with like his like wolf face and his wings and all of his majesty, who just happens to be right there. Now you got to roll for it, right? So which strategy?
Yes. Oh, God, what strategy? Oh, this is bad advice.
Okay. It's imagine bad. Well, no, it's a reasonable use of bad advice, honestly. Okay. No successes. You have tags, though. You have tags, but be warned, you also have negative tags, and that's exactly what these traps are meant for.
Let's see, I have Hold My Beer, and I have Dumb Luck, and I have Hedonistic. I do not have any negative tags attached to those.
Okay.
This is huge. This is like, especially considering it's Goldar. I think this might be Hold My Beer.
Okay. I can kind of see it, right? Because you kind of grabbed the one, like maybe the most famous guy in the bar.
And I specifically said the biggest one in the bar too. So I mean, I knew biggest, scariest. So I knew what I was doing.
He's the OG in the room.
Huh?
He's the OG, the old gangster, you know?
Yeah.
The notorious one.
I've seen some stuff.
Yeah. Been in every Power Ranger series imaginable.
One of the only monsters to be, I think, grown. I think he fought the Megazord like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
One of the only ones that have done that, too.
You've got one success. Was that for your strategy or your soul skill? Just so I can keep track. Go strategy. It's better for you.
I think it's strategy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's what this is.
Now, what negative tags do you have?
Oh, I have shame and impulsive.
Okay.
Which
this case, yeah, right. Impulsive actually is a good one for this, but the point of it was shame. That was the trap. So, in this case, you have this great idea, and it may even work, but when that hypnogriff in the back of the room said that, it was when you realized, shit, they're all on the level. Like, Mesmero has me like checkmate right now. So see if you can muster the will to pull this off, even though like your heart of hearts is like sunk. Like, I got this idea, but you know I suck. I can't possibly pull this off. So re-roll and see if you can keep that 1 under a 5.
So should I re-roll Hold My Beer?
That sounds good. And doesn't. Okay. But now you can still use more tags. That was my one negative roll on you. So you have 2 tags and you used 1 so far? Is that right? Or do you have 3 tags?
I have 6 belief and I have 3 tags left. I have 3 tags total that aren't blocked.
Gotcha. But in the character sheet, so you can use up to 2 and you already used 1. So you could use 1 more tag.
So would
or
it be
you can
dumb
buy your
luck
way out of it.
Would it be dumb luck because Goldar is feeling lonely? Or would it be just happen to catch him on a good day?
Sure.
Or would it be hedonistic because I'm crazy enough to actually hit on Goldar?
And there's no wrong answer here.
She keeps that 2-headed coin in her pocket for a reason. I'm doing dumb luck.
Okay.
Or lucky coin, excuse me.
Okay.
Oh, no. No
success. Still 2 fails. You can buy your way out of it, or you can eat the double fail, and you'll get a negative tag.
I'm gonna. How many belief points would it cost me
2.
I'm buying my way out of it.
Okay. From 6 to 4, you can have a critical success. Or you could have double. I just don't know why you would want to do that. Unless you're like, you know what, I don't want an amazing success. I just want a mediocre success. Which sometimes
desperately
people do.
need a critical success.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally go for a critical success. So what do you need me to do now?
What happens?
What happens?
You stick your arm over Goldar.
Oh yeah, I put my arm. I guess I don't know how tall.
How did you deal with it? Like, what happened on the inside of your head that made this not work on you?
As soon as he said that, it was just like there was gut punch, and she had a moment of feeling ridiculous and like this isn't going to work. I absolutely am going to get called out by this googly-eyed hippo thing, and it's just not going to happen. You know, out of all the monsters in this bar, the thing that looks like a stress relief toy that I squeeze when I'm angry is, it couldn't even been one of the cool ones like Goldar. So like immediately, you know, it just went, you know, you want to know about my daddy? I'll talk about my daddy. And so again, as I've established previously, when she wanted to get out of detention, Brandy will make people uncomfortable. She has no filter, no cutoff point. And so I think that would be what would lead her to actually doing something that weird.
Okay. And what happens?
So she throws her arm. She's like, "You want to know about my daddy?" I can't remember what I said now, but I don't know. And so she throws her arm around Goldar, and she's like, "Do you want to be my daddy?" You know, and it's completely innuendo laden.
Yeah.
As she looks up at him and offers him her beer.
He takes it.
Really,
and he sticks his hand out. Hey, everyone, sit down. If anybody's taking her to the Emperor, it's me. And he looks at you. We better get out of here before they all realize they can take us. He like, and you still have your arm around him, and if nothing else, it sounds like a good escape, right? Better than being stuck in here with them.
And so she asks him as they're like walking out. She's like, "Who? You know, this whole thing is so crazy. Do you even know who has the bounty out on us?" As she's like cuddling up against his big furry winged body.
I think he's got like that armor on, doesn't he? Like, I think
Yeah,
he's always got like
I
that
think so.
breastplate looking thing. Well, it's like gold armor, honestly.
God. I'm sorry, I'm looking at a picture of him.
Oh.
What does Isaac do? Like,
Isaac,
It's like-
like
so
that
open his
face,
mouth.
just like following her, like just right behind her. It's almost like if the effect holds up and Isaac is still not seen. I mean, it's almost like what was that show, like Quantum Leap?
Oh God.
I'm just like following them
Yeah.
and like gotta change the past. No, but you know, just kind of following them, trying to stay out of sight.
Goldar.
And unfortunately, we don't have Alistair right now.
Yeah.
So I am going to back up Brandy if she needs me.
Okay. Like any good Star Wars movie, right? All of you
Yes.
are not together on the Death Star. So the two of you slip out of the room. And what this does for us is this is going to tie up Infiltrate the Stronghold. Because Goldar is your key to getting into the dark heart of the Citadel. He's going to be able to get you right to the throne room, which of course is your chance to figure out, how do I actually get under the throne, which is where the two of you had last seen Mesmero go. That's when he exited the Matrix. His moment where he walked into the hallway outside of the program. And wherever he went, that's where he was going to use this word, Orpheus, to some power that was going to make him in charge of the monster world.
Yeah, I mean, something with the pronunciation.
Yeah. Worth making a note of for next time.
Bye.
Do either of you have anything you want to add?
I am going to follow them and hopefully keep everything on point. Get to the throne room and hopefully stop our villain before he takes over the planet. So.
And Brandy, is there anything else you wanted to add? As obviously you're going to leave the bar with Goldar, with Isaac not too far behind, incognito.
I'm questioning my life choices.
Like, just like the level of confusion right now. Like, how did she get out of there?
Well, I mean, ultimately, whether or not Goldar doesn't really have any interest in a human to begin with. It's moreover just his opportunity to, bring in the bounty, or more or less to bring something to the board. We think.
I'm very glad that was never explored in the series.
Yes. No. No, but I'm sure if we looked it up, there's plenty of fanfic.
Please, no! Please!
But yeah, that's so I'm pretty certain that's it's just going to be, she'll keep talking it up probably, and he'll just let her go on because she's being complacent.
Well, we do have an in that, I mean, I imagine the Emperor office does not want to be, like, having an underling kind of, like, get all the power. So maybe the Grand Emperor, I don't know, maybe an unlikely ally in the future, question mark? Perhaps.
Okay.
We'll see.
So, with that, we wrap up Infiltrate the Enemy Stronghold. So, both of you get to level up your characters. So, what that means is Infiltrate the Enemy Stronghold was Brandy's milestone. So, you both get 1 point to alter your characteristics. But, Brandy, you can use your 1 point to raise something up to 8 if it's got a number value. Or, Pedro, you're stuck with a max of 7. But look at your strategies, look at your soul skills, look at your health. If you want to raise anything, maybe you add a relationship, maybe you start a new strategy at beginner, which is 4.
I will kick up my health body from 3 to 4. Right. Bringing me to 6 mind, 4 body, and 4 spirit.
If either of you are damaged, you can go ahead and heal up.
And then
so what was it? Sorry. Go ahead.
6 mind, 4 body, 4 spirit, and I'm going to kick up my imagine to 5.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so what do I get to do now?
You get 1 point to raise any of your strategies or your soul skills or your health. You could also use it to start a new strategy at beginner. You could use it to add a relationship or upgrade one of your relationships to an organization, otherwise a group of that kind of thing.
Can you also do beginner and then spend the other point to bring it up to skilled?
You can, but you only get 1 per milestone after the first.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
1 per milestone after. Never mind, then I gotta take imagine. Because you can only do 1. You can either increase your HP or you can do a soul skill.
Yep.
Okay, and then I'll just increase imagine by 1 then. Awesome.
And then you're also going to gain 2 belief.
The one that I spent this session.
Mm-hmm. And
Diggity dog.
Okay, yay, to believe. Looking over my relationships, wouldn't Pedro's character be more of a close relationship?
You can feel free to upgrade that for free. That part's free. The relationship bond level, just like you don't pay for it when you put it there, it doesn't have, if it changes, good, right? But you don't have to buy that. If you wanted to make it so that like Pedro, whatever your benefit from Pedro was like the Rangers, that would be a way of making it like the whole group. Or Rangers in general. What tag do you have for your relationship with Pedro?
Neighbor.
Yeah, so I mean, like in that case, like if you wanted to, now all the Power Rangers feel like your neighbors. Like, so it's like some sense of community or.
So for my, I don't know what this is going to do, but so for my relationship, I'm in a casual relationship with Goldar now.
Awesome, that's fun. That's really fun.
That's amazing.
You have to give him a tag. So what value do you get out of Goldar?
Shared self-interest?
I mean, he could have a thing for you.
I don't know, you've got a week to decide where that goes.
I was like, please don't put like flirt or anything. I don't want to see Goldar and all kinds of weird fan fiction and.
Oh my god, no! I had to look him up too. This isn't me just sitting there going, "I got a Power Ranger fetish." I'm like, who? Oh gosh, no. Okay, I'm just gonna go with it.
I mean, first Goldar, then we had the putty fetish pile. I mean,
they started it. Okay, so my tag will be for him will be
If it helps you, can take the week to think about it. It's not a big deal.
Daddy.
Daddy, of course it's Daddy. Of course it is. Oh, jeez.
just internal screaming.
Okay. So we have gratitude and we have vision rolls. We'll do vision rolls off camera, just to, trim off the time. But gratitude. So each of you think for a minute on what was the best thing that the other person did that made your experience better. Maybe it was the rolls. Maybe it was something they said. Maybe it was somebody's daddy.
Jess was amazing piling through all those rolls because I was just sitting here like, ooh, and she just kept going for it, and I just want to golf clap because that was great.
Well, and I mean, bad rolls can make better stories.
Oh, yeah.
As long as it doesn't make you feel trivialized as a player. You're like, sometimes you're like, why am I even here if it's just I'm just the guy who rolls bad dice? But it was good because it was just this one session.
I'm not. Well, this particular character isn't trying to be the hero, so screwing up is just kind of par for the course. So it's what you can do with that screw up.
Perfect.
So
none of us Alistair doesn't want to kind of come into the mantle. And Isaac just is constantly bumbling about, whoa, and then...
You don't have actually, an Achilles heel problem as much as both of them do. And you're the person kind of stuck bumbling between both of them.
I'm sorry. Oh, jeez. But, man, when you put all three of us together, we somehow figure it out.
We get stuff done.
I laughed because we have 3 Rangers, right? So it's the other 2 just quit, because there's always 5, Jessica, what's yours?
Yes,
what did Pedro do today?
I still love the way Pedro gets into all the in detailed descriptions of the morphs and his changes, and I'm like, I don't know. That's one of the things that I like is that they can get so in detailed about it. And again, I'm kind of the everyman here, stepping into the Power Rangers lore. It's been trying to sneeze. It's been a long time since I've watched the shows consistently or knew anything about it. So I'm very floundering. And of course, you guys have seen even the ones that are overseas and things like that, the ones that haven't made it to America. So it's yes, but so I do appreciate all the little things that are added in to kind of add to it, I guess.
Oh, that's amazing.
All right, with that, we will close the stream, and next time we return to activate and wield a junkyard Megazord.
I got something planned for that.